Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. FTX US slams the Bahamas government, and the new CEO of FTX outlines a complete failure of corporate controls at that firm. In our interview later, we're talking about International Men's Day. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Chester Robards, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, November 18th. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Tony Grant Jr. will be joining us. Also this morning, we're talking about International Men's Day. It's all about the men. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're having a conversation with Suncash and Arwak X. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the U.S. arm of FTX says Sam Bankman-Fried is working with the Bahamas to thwart its Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. FTX Trading Limited said it has credible evidence that the government of the Bahamas directed unauthorized access to its systems in order to obtain digital assets after FTX had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. FTX Trading also blasted the Bahamian Joint Provisional Liquidator, who were appointed by the Supreme Court to oversee the winding up of FTX Digital in the Bahamas, for filing a Chapter 15 bankruptcy petition in New York. It said Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of FTX, appears to be supporting the Joint Provisional Liquidators. That new CEO, John J. Ray III, who oversaw the Enron bankruptcy, is now overseeing the same for FTX US and its affiliates, said yesterday that never in his 40-year career has he seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such complete absence of trustworthy financial information as he has seen at FTX. Ray said he understands that in the Bahamas, corporate funds were used to purchase homes and other personal items for employees and advisors. Ray, who was appointed CEO of FTX, after its co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried resigned last week, said the situation he met at FTX is, quote, unprecedented. He said many of the FTX companies, especially those organized in the Bahamas and Antigua, did not have appropriate corporate governance and never had board meetings. He said the FTX group did not maintain a centralized control of cash. He also said there are unclear records on who worked at the companies. Further, he said FTX did not have disbursement controls needed for business enterprise. And the Securities Commission of the Bahamas said in a statement released yesterday that it had assumed control of FTX Digital Markets assets as of November 12th and transferred all digital assets of the company to a digital wallet it controls for safekeeping. The SCB added in its statement that it does not consider that the locally registered FTX Digital Markets Limited is part of the Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings filed by former FTX Chief Executive Officer Sam Bankman-Fried just before he resigned from the company. The SCB said it has exercised its powers, quote, as regulator acting under the authority of an order made by the Supreme Court of the Bahamas when it transferred the funds to its own digital wallet. And United States Senators Elizabeth Warren and Richard Durbin have requested a complete and transparent accounting of the business practices and financial activities in the lead up to and following the collapse of Bahamas headquartered FTX. The senators wrote in a letter to former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried and current FTX CEO John J. Ray III, quote, one thing is clear, the public is owed a complete and transparent accounting of the business practices and financial activities leading up to and following FTX's collapse and loss of billions of dollars of customer funds. And Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Philip Brave Davis told Parliament last month that he never received any briefing or saw any papers on the need to execute fuel hedging trades for Bahamas Power and Light to lock in oil prices last fall. But Minister of Works Alfred Sears said in the House of Assembly on Wednesday that a cabinet paper to this effect was addressed to the Minister of Finance, and the Ministry of Finance decided to reject the recommendation after reviewing it. Sears' acknowledgement on Wednesday came after he and the Prime Minister both repeatedly insisted in the House of Assembly that they had not had any briefings on the need to carry out the hedge transactions and had seen no documents on it. In international news, when Russia's military brass announced in a televised appearance that they were pulling troops out of the key city of Kherson in southern Ukraine, one man missing from the room was President Vladimir Putin, as Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and General Sergei Surovikin, Russia's chief commander in Ukraine, stiffly recited the reasons for retreat in front of the cameras on November 9th. Putin was touring a neurological hospital in Moscow, watching a doctor perform brain surgery. Later that day, Putin spoke at another event but made no mention of the pullout from Kherson, arguably Russia's most humiliating withdrawal in Ukraine. In the days that followed, he hasn't publicly commented on the topic. Putin's silence comes as Russia faces mounting setbacks in nearly 9 months of fighting. The Russian leader appears to have delegated the delivery of bad news to others, a tactic he used during the coronavirus pandemic. Let's take a look at sports. There's a Caribbean Baseball Championship on the horizon. The plans for the 4th annual Caribbean Baseball Championship are taking place as according to schedule, as the Bahamas Baseball Association addressed the media yesterday at the office of the Prime Minister. The tournament that is set for December 4th through 11th at the new Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium will pit the Bahamas against 5 other teams. Also competing are the defending champions Curacao, Haiti, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. This is a qualifier for the Central America and Caribbean Games in El Salvador in 2023. Those 6 teams will battle for 2 spots at the Games. BBA Secretary General Theodore Sweeting addressed the media and provided updates about the tournament. The Bahamian team has not been named as yet, but one thing for certain is that Major League Baseball players who are on the team's 40-man roster cannot play in this round. That means that Miami Marlins infielder Jazrado Chisholm and Washington Nationals infielder Lucius Fox will be unavailable to play for the Bahamas. And a table tennis tournament is set for Saturday. The Bahamas Table Tennis Federation and the Embassy of the People's Republic of China here in the Bahamas, in conjunction with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, will host a table tennis tournament this Saturday at the AF Adelaide Gymnasium. The tournament will highlight 25 years of diplomatic relationships between the People's Republic of China and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is set to get underway at 9 a.m. with the junior, intermediate, adult doubles, and team competition categories competing. The UB Mingos get close to their first win, but they come up short in women's volleyball. The team went to the Anatole Rogers Gymnasium on Wednesday, hoping to turn their New Providence Volleyball Association season around. They played like everything was on the line, and even though they forced a decisive 5th set for the first time this season, they fell short, losing to the Lady Technicians, who prevailed 25-27, 25-22, 25-17, 13-25, and 15-8. The Mingos started off strong in the first set, battling to the end. They went on to win their first set of the season, coming out on top 27-25. Mingos basketball working out ahead of weekend tour. They practiced Thursday at the David Posnack Jewish Community Center in Davie, Florida, ahead of a 2-game series against Atlantic University this weekend. The Mingos are expected to play Atlantic University at 8 p.m. on Friday and 1 p.m. on Saturday. UB head coach Bacchus Roll, along with assistant coaches LeVar Johnson and Tage Hadley, ran the team through a series of drills along with a full-court scrimmage. In sports overseas, the sale of beer with alcohol at the 8 World Cup stadiums was banned Friday, with only 2 days before the soccer tournament set to start. Non-alcoholic beer will still be sold at the 64 matches in the country. Following discussions between host country authorities and FIFA, a decision has been made to focus the sale of alcoholic beverages on the FIFA Fan Festival, other fan destinations, and licensed venues, removing sales points of beer from stadium perimeters, FIFA said in a statement. Champagne, wine, whiskey, and other alcohol is still expected to be served in the luxury hospitality areas of the stadiums. Outside of those places, beer is normally the only alcohol served to regular ticket holders. AB InBev, the parent company of World Cup beer sponsor Budweiser, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. As you look at sports and you look at the overnight, your first look at weather is up next. Your first look at weather, sponsored by the Chick Charney Challenge, which is brought to you by Colina. In your forecast for today and tonight, Friday, November 18th, mariners and residents should be alert for possible waterspout and funnel cloud activity in the vicinity of the front. Beachgoers are to be vigilant for rip currents along north and easterly beaches. The general situation of frontal boundary is stalled across the northwest Bahamas, while a moderate to fresh breeze blows throughout the country. In the northwest Bahamas, breezy with widely scattered showers along and ahead of the front through tonight. Small craft should exercise caution. Winds north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the central Bahamas ahead of the front. Isolated showers or thunderstorm elsewhere. Small craft should exercise caution in the southeast islands. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots in the central islands. Winds north increasing 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central Bahamas, building 4 to 6 feet in the southeast Bahamas. We'll have an extended outlook for you in the 8 o'clock hour.
Morning Blend Weather Check brought to you by the Chickcharney Challenge. The country's premier obstacle course run is back this December 3rd at Clifton Heritage Park. Run, jump, climb, and claw your way to the finish. The Chickcharney Challenge, the return. Sign up today at chickcharneychirin.com or call 421-8915 today. The Chickcharney Challenge.
When we come back, we're discussing some of the day's top stories. That's when Morning Blend continues here on Guardian Radio 96.9, home of fresh news and smart talk all day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your number one fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on www.guardiantalkradio.com and the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. We're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Chester Robards. Dwight's still on vacation. I think he's in Poland. Joining me now, Tony Grant Jr., known as Tej. Tej, you there with me? He's going to be with us in a second. You can join our conversation today. Tweet us at MorningBlend969 or follow the hashtag MorningBlend. Be sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/morningblend969. Leave your comments and read what others are saying about the topics on the show. Or email us at morningblend@nascard.com. You can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. Text us at 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Standard text rates do apply. We'd love to hear your voice. You can also call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Also coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. And then business news coming up in Morning Blend Business at 9 a.m. We're talking with Suncash and Arawak X about what's going on. In our 7 o'clock hour, International Men's Day. That's what we're talking about. But first, it's time to talk about what's in the news. And in the news, feels like there's only one thing in the news. FTX. There's Tony. I hear you, Tony.
Oh, you hear me. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, great.
Okay, good. I got a microphone this time.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm prepared. I'm ready.
Yeah, the clarity.
I gotta make sure it's working.
The clarity is there.
Great.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining me. Tell people where you are right now.
Well, right now I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and it's pretty. Is it pretty nippy out there in Nassau right now, like it is here?
You mean Bahamas nippy?
I think Fort Lauderdale in the Bahamas has the same nippy. It's like 69 degrees or something like that.
No, we might be a little high. I saw a young woman in a big coat this morning, and I was sweating. I don't know.
Look, the palm trees are still green, man. So there is no winter.
We might have your weather by tonight.
That'll be great. That'll be refreshing for you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So FTX is what's going on everywhere, it seems. Even U.S. news is eating this stuff up. You got Senator Elizabeth Warren taking on SBF.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy. And I got three words that come to mind when I think about that whole debacle. Lord have mercy. That's it. Those are the three words that I have because it never ends, bro. It never ends. I feel like every time I turn on the news, every time I try to check into some news and read the news, it's a new story. It's a new twist.
Yeah.
It's just so many different levels and twists and turns to the story. So I'm just holding on for the ride. It's like a roller coaster, man.
Right? And since last week, almost every day, I swear, there's been a new court filing. And and we've had the fun task of going through them to pick out the salient points for our readers, right? But
right.
But you got to, and you know how social media is now. On WhatsApp, everybody has everything. Like everything that I see pop up on WhatsApp, I'm sure has been passed around. I don't know who's going to read a 50-page court document, but I guess that's what the newspaper for. We break it down. But the filing that talks about how structured FTX was, but it's more about how unstructured the company was. It is absolutely mind-blowing, and I don't know if you've seen it. But let me read some of what the new FTX CEO, John J. Ray, who oversaw the Enron bankruptcy, and if you know that name, you know what a debacle that was.
Yeah, he's telling it all.
Yeah. So he said never in his 40-year career, now he oversaw Enron. You have to know the name Enron.
Yes.
In his 40-year career, he's never seen, quote, such a complete failure of corporate controls and such complete absence of trustworthy financial information as he has seen at FTX. So
Lord have mercy.
Let me read the rest of this story written by our Travis Cartwright Carroll. Ray said he understands that in the Bahamas, corporate funds were used to purchase homes and other personal items for employees and advisors. Ray, who was appointed CEO of FTX after its co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried resigned last week, said the situation he met at FTX is unprecedented. He said many of the FTX companies, especially those organized in the Bahamas and Antigua, did not have appropriate corporate governance and never had board meetings. He said the FTX group did not maintain a centralized control of cash. He also said there are unclear records on who worked at the companies. Further, he said FTX did not have disbursement controls needed for a business enterprise. For example, this is a quote now, employees of the FTX group, listen to this is wild, submitted payment requests through an online chat platform where a disparate group of supervisors approved disbursements by responding with personalized emojis.
Wow. Yeah. Can we go through these points one by one and break it down?
Absolutely.
Because let's start from the beginning, please. Can we start from the beginning?
Yeah, let me read this other quote after this. In the Bahamas, I understand that corporate funds of the FTX group were used to purchase homes and other personal items for employees and advisors. I understand that there does not appear to be documentation for certain of these transactions as loans, and that certain real estate was recorded in the personal name of these employees and advisors on the records of the Bahamas. The debtors now are implementing a centralized disbursement approval process that reports to me as Chief Executive Officer. So yes, we could go through these points.
This is messy.
Very messy.
It's messy. And you know, people out there on the streets, if you're listening, just let's put the word messy to rest for today when trying to, direct it to somebody next to you. When you're talking to somebody else, let's not call them messy today. Let's not call your neighbor, your friend, your cousin messy. Don't call them messy today.
They'll never
Messy
be this
reserved. No, messy is reserved for SPF. And it has to be. When you have somebody come in and want to do this business and really, really has all the momentum in the world, has all the support. And then this, it's like, I'm not understanding. And so that's why I said, can we go through this one by one? What do you mean you don't have board meetings? What do you mean? What does that mean?
So the disbursement request that they talked about in an online chat group, like it's understood.
Oh my God!
It's understood that that's where everything got done. That's how where SBF communicated with other staff members, and maybe that was their board meeting. this online chat. What's it called? It's one of those famous, one of those things that a lot of Silicon Valley people use to communicate with each other. I don't remember what it was called.
Well, so he is roommates with a number of people, right?
Right. So again, maybe that was the board meeting, the cabal that they talked about in these stories. Maybe
I'm trying to make sense of it, and it just seems very negligent, to have a business as such. And then where's the oversight? That's my question too. Where's the oversight?
Right. So that's the question, and that's probably where the questions will start coming from, about the Securities Commission and what they were supposed to be doing, right?
Because everything at this point seems like damage control by the government.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Let me see. There's some more information about.
You could just go through the CEO's comments, and you could just take what he says one by one.
Yeah.
And you could really you can see what's going on here. And it's disappointing to read the comments like that, but it's good to have somebody that is this transparent.
Right. So Ray also says that FTX Group, he says, quote, cash management procedural failures included the absence of an accurate list of bank accounts and account signatories, as well as insufficient attention to the creditworthiness of banking partners around the world. What? What? Listen.
So how do they vet these investors? How do they let them in? And this goes back to like incompetence. It's negligence.
Can you imagine the colleges and universities that are going to use this? The business school on how not to run a company
for years, for decades.
They're gonna write a book about it, and then let's study this book.
Yeah. It'll be coming to Yale soon. Yale or Harvard. It'll be one of the School of Business. It'll be there.
It's got to. But
MBA program. Yeah.
But again, this is, and I want to get to another story, something I wrote in the paper today, about the Securities Commission. But the question I put to some people who are smarter than me in the financial field, Slack. Somebody gave it to me just now.
Slack. Yeah, Slack. I've used Slack before.
Yeah, and I guess that's an appropriate term.
Yo, Chester, you are clever.
Ah, boy.
And it is. And it is, It's a very, very appropriate.
Somebody agreed with me. They said Slack. How apropos.
And the thing is, and at the minute you said Slack, that's what I thought, but I just didn't say it. And I'm sure people out there listening, everybody was like, Slack, okay, makes sense,
You cannot make this up. And I wish it wasn't real. But this is how this company was. Okay, so let me go back. I spoke to some financial people, and I said to them, how is it? Because this company was clearly did not become unhinged and unwound when they came to the Bahamas. You know what I mean? They were not this bastion of a financial firm when they came to the Bahamas, and suddenly there was sun, sand, sea, and frolic, and they didn't care about anything anymore.
Right.
And now this is what we have. Clearly, this company was in this state since it was in China.
Correct.
And I guess the question everybody might have, as I have, is what did it look like to the Securities Commission when they looked at it?
Yeah. Yep. And I really want to talk about our people who are caught up in this, all the Bahamians and some who have their livelihoods caught up in this. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, there are some Bahamians who could have had better oversight over all of this. And so it's like, It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a very tough situation for our people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And there are, I mean, the fallout is not even close to being revealed, because I've had off the record conversations with some people, brokers. So brokers who help people to invest in FTX, local brokers whose clients are like, what they're asking them questions every day, like, how am I getting my money? What's going on? And of course, they are just in the same place as everybody else, waiting for information to come out. I know I've seen at least two people who are probably brokers and help people to get on the FTX platform. Because don't forget, you had to, if you were investing locally, you had to go through the central bank to get foreign exchange to begin to buy any kind of coin online or whatever,
Right.
So the fallout is yet to be seen locally. Local people aren't really talking about their relationship with FTX. We do know that there are a ton of vendors who got a lot of money over the past year from FTX, providing food, providing services.
Right.
And, they're kind of left in the lurch. Everybody knows about FTX Arena in Miami. Those people were like, our next payment's coming up. I guess we got to get rid of them.
Yes. And for the longest, I've been wondering, because I live here in South Florida. So for the longest, I've been wondering, like, where's the permanent signage of FTX on their arena? Because, there is signage. Right. It's huge, but it's not permanent. It's not like it's on the building, like how when it was the American Airlines arena.
Right.
You had the big airline plastered on, it was engraved on the top,
Yeah.
And then on the front, on the face of the building, you had sort of kind of some permanent signage. But they never really had permanent signage on that arena, so it makes you wonder,
Yeah. Boy, I tell you. They never they never had the faith.
Yeah, they listen, and I'm just really confused about how they really got to the Bahamas and how they're able to even do business with the central bank, being who they were at the time. And so I'm really trying to understand the state of the company, the state of the business when they arrived to the Bahamas. And I think that's what everybody's trying to figure out at this point, right?
Right.
Because some people, it couldn't only be, SPF who negligent on this, it has to be some of our people too.
Yeah.
And the stories are coming out.
Yeah, and it's sad, and I hope for the best for the people who invested their money in this platform.
Me too. I really do. And the one thing is, when they educate you about investing, they always tell you to diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is why things can go left, things can hit the fan, and very quickly, things can change. And so they always tell you, always diversify your portfolio. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Me, I'm an active real estate investor. I'm trying to invest in real estate right now.
Yeah.
And I'm very much aware that I can't only invest in real estate.
Right.
So for the ones who put all their eggs in one basket, I do feel sorry for them, and I just would have hoped that they would have had better education coming into it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And you see Mr. Wonderful saying on
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary saying on the news channels, I made a bad investment. But not only did you do that, now he's on court documents being sued along with Sam Bankman-Fried.
Messy.
It's messy, man. It's
messy. It's the only word that comes to mind thinking about all this. Messy.
Let me read some of these text messages coming in fast and
Please,
furious.
I want to know what the people are saying.
Good morning, Chester. This is like the Netflix show Inventing Anna. Inventing Anna wasn't this messy.
No.
This person says, all of this. Chester, I've been trying to tell people from last week, when you go down the path of, this crypto so complex and we too dumb to understand it, and Sam had a backdoor in the code. Who could have possibly figured this out? You're on the wrong path. From the minute Sam said, I miscalculated the margins, it was clear this was all about governance and failed controls and oversight from the Securities Commission. That was clear from last week. Okay?
Okay.
They say, wait, what? There was a cabinet paper on fuel hedging? Yeah. Aren't cabinet papers debated? I don't know if it was a cabinet paper. I got to read that story again.
Okay.
But anyway, say, what's the likelihood that you forgot that discussion and you forgot that you rejected the proposal? Okay, they're talking about something different. This person says, seems like with Bahamar, FTX, and this fuel hedging, we about to hear about some off-the-wall deliberate attempts to mislead the Bahamian public, and that's putting it mildly. I was thinking like, what Bahamar? But the former owner of the Bahamar project is threatening to drop some damning information about people.
Messy.
Yeah.
Messy. And see, it ain't us. It ain't us. And that's why I want us to take a break from using this word to each other today. Bahamians, listen to me. Don't use this word messy to your friends today.
And it's
It ain't us.
It's MESSY, not MESSI, because, you know, World Cup is about to start.
Right. you got to clarify. It's not the go. It's not Messi to go.
No. This person says, Elizabeth Warren is a pit bull, super intelligent. When she gets a hold of a scummy financial puzzle, watch out. It says, I'm sorry, but the Securities Commission board needs to be removed. There's no more cloaking this. This was an abject failure of regulatory oversight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and removed how? You know, like, just replace personnel.
This person says, please talk about the legal counsel who had to file documents to set up the company. I think that was... Oh, what's my friend? Oh, Allison Maynard Gibson, I think, represented the company.
Okay.
This person says, our Securities Commission dropped the ball. They are too busy going after local companies and allowed the starry-eyes white billionaire to scot-free and make a complete fool of our jurisdiction. You see now why the EU and OECD come after us. They do not think we are capable of oversight and enforcement. Also, I think this administration really wanted this company and probably nudged the supposedly independent SCB to accommodate FTX Incorporation. I really pray the government and the Bahamian people learn from this. Well, I don't know about that, but...
Yeah, the second part of that, the last part of that, I don't know. But the first part of that, could it be the first part of that same text? Could it really be, Chester?
Could it be?
Could it be the government just fell in love with this guy? You know, they saw a guy that came in and said, like, okay, we could work with him, and they let it ride. They let some things slide that they wouldn't let slide normally.
Isn't that normal? Seems a part of the process of vetting foreigners is you get to leave some stuff out.
You get to omission is there. Yes.
Yeah, and they all do it. You know, you hear the PLP raggy in the FNM about Oban, and you know what? Now the same thing's gonna happen. I see the opposition is trying to have some kind of thing outside of OPM this morning.
Yeah, it's like a loaded gun right now. You know, and it would take a horrible leader to not capitalize on this opportunity right now. So I'm just looking at the leadership of the FNM to see what exactly they're going to do, how they're going to do it, because how is important.
Yeah. This texter says if the FNM administration was in this compromise, you wouldn't hear the end of it from the PLP. Well, again, you're going to not hear the end of it from the FNM. I guarantee you that.
Right. I don't understand, comments like that, but that's just me. I just don't understand that because that's what politics, that's what they do. That's what they do here in the States. That's what they do in Europe. They do it everywhere in politics. So that's how it is.
This person says the SCB should be removed and replaced with persons who will enforce regulations and do the necessary and detailed checks regardless of investment affiliation. Okay. So the Securities Commission accepts accounts which it lacks expertise and hopes for the best. Its focus seems more on collecting big fees. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? You know what I have questions about, Chester?
What's that?
How is this gonna impact Bahamians who have invested in other cryptocurrencies?
Right.
Right. And how is this going to affect Bahamians who have been studying the cryptocurrency market to see how they can wiggle their way in? And so, I would imagine that people are falling back.
Yeah.
People are not investing right now. And I would also imagine that people who are invested are looking at ways to get out.
Well, right. So, they're already being affected because the crash of FTX has caused a lot of coins to their value to go down.
Of course.
But I spoke to someone earlier, I think last week, I did a story. But, they're talking about, the things that could be done in the space, in the blockchain space, that FTX was probably not doing. They're talking about, Web3 things that are not, as some people call it, these unicorn poop coin things that only exist in thin air, and people assign value to them based on how many people go and collect them. It's like Pogs back in the day, or like Pokemon cards,
Yeah, I'm tuned in to see how people are really gonna navigate this right now. I know people who are invested in Bitcoin, and everybody's a bit nervous. Everybody's a bit paranoid right now.
Yeah, it's true. We got some calls coming in. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Question.
Yes.
The bankruptcy filing that FTX did in Delaware, did they petition our Supreme Court? Because I heard part of a letter that Vaughn read yesterday, where the new CEO seemed like he was threatening the Bahamas to sue because, and securities thing over here to sue them because they did not adhere to the stay that was issued in Delaware. I think that, I don't know if, I think they are supposed to file a petition in our Supreme Court to get them to stay in a situation with FTX in the Bahamas based on the bankruptcy filing. Now, if they didn't do that, how are they going to get things enforced in the Bahamas based on the bankruptcy?
Right.
And another thing, investment is an individual thing. I'm not panicking. I wouldn't panic, but wondering what other people thinking, right? Because that's an individual thing to invest. You could pull your money out if you want to right now in any investment. So a lot of people making it seem like this is a normal thing that happens on Wall Street almost on a weekly basis, where stocks crash and all that kind of thing. People lose billions of dollars. But as far as this FTX thing is concerned, I think the matters are before the court. So there's a lot of speculation about what happened from what didn't happen. So thank God the matters are before the court, and hopefully the court will sort out all the situation of who didn't do what from who should have done what. There's a lot of speculation going on, or the security people need to resign because they didn't do their due diligence. The matters before the courts, and hopefully, because these things happen almost on a weekly basis all around the world with companies crashing, and they find out that the companies wasn't what it really had itself to be out on paper. Because when you have a bunch of dummy companies formed in a day in Delaware, that's what a lot of people is go to form companies in Delaware, 6, 7, 8 companies. And all they're doing is moving money around, making it seem like this company have $20 in it today by this evening because of the time difference around the world. They move the money from this company to a next company someplace else around the world. And then they do their report and say, this is how much money we get on this bank account. This international finance thing. This ain't nothing new, but this FTX and Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is a new phenomenon. But the same way the other financial situations is work, with the corruption and all the wheeling and dealing and the misuse of clients' funds and all that kind of stuff, that ain't nothing new. And I ain't gonna ever stop. Don't care what regulations we put in place. Yeah. Don't care what people we have in place. Until people decide to be honest, we can continue to have this. But all this speculation, but they didn't do this, they didn't do that. We even ain't sure because we getting one side of the story from FTX people right now and their filings in the Delaware court. We getting one side of the story. Then the guy saying that he trying to, so they didn't tell him they're going to file the Chapter 15. Did they tell our people that they're going to file the Chapter 11? Did they tell our people that they're going to file Chapter 11? Or they just went and did it? And that's their right to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our right too, because we's a sovereign jurisdiction too, you know. We have a Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And we have our Privy Council that you could apply to. So everybody who's jumping to speculation, oh, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, oh, this one didn't do that. We ain't sure, because it's only certain people pushing out their story first, because they want to get their story out first so that everybody could be on their side.
Of course.
You see, and the courts is the ones who have the final determination. That's like Mr. Ismailian. He claiming that he could drop some bombshell. If you got the information but of people, put it out there. What you threatening for? Why you threatening people or pretending like you threatening people?
Leverage.
The FTF guy, we can sue the government for this. We can sue the government for that. Because they trying to frighten people. We have a sovereign court in our country, constitutionally mandated courts in our country. And our security people, the liquidators, they go on to our Supreme Court. So if they want their petition to be stayed in the Bahamas, where they file in Delaware, they got to go through our courts, because how they can get assets, take over assets in the Bahamas, especially fixed assets in the Bahamas, just by sending a letter to a lawyer. That don't work like that. So panicking over the stuff online and this letter and that letter, that's part of what lawyers do. You ever had to deal with a lawyer from somebody that's threatening you with something, they can take you to court. Yep. People think taking you to court, you're supposed to get scared, because they threaten to take you to court or they threaten to sue you. Everybody got their time in the court, and the courts will sort out all of this mix-up. And people who invest in it, investment is risk. There's no guarantee you can lose money or you can win money or get money. So if you invest in anything else and you feel not comfortable about it, that's why they have a run in Wall Street selling stocks every day all around the world, the different trade exchanges around the world.
Yeah. All right, caller, thank you for that contribution. We got to go to a break.
Okay.
And Morning Blend will return right after this.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
AP News, I'm Jackie Quinn. The snow's coming fast in upstate New York and across the Great Lakes region. To 4 feet could fall before the weekend ends. Buffalo resident Tina Miller tells WKBW she's taking it in stride.
We live in Buffalo. It's expected.
While the forecast prompts a change in the NFL, as we hear from Bruce Morton.
Sunday's Browns-Bills game has been relocated to Detroit because of an expected monster snowstorm in Buffalo.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul's banning truck traffic on parts of Interstate 90 southwest of Buffalo, fearing crashes will close the highways. New concerns about an intercontinental ballistic missile fired by North Korea that landed in Japanese waters. Our Lisa Dwyer reports.
The Japanese defense minister says that the latest long-range missile that North Korea has test-launched could potentially reach the entire continental United States. The suspected intercontinental ballistic missile flew 620 miles at a maximum altitude of about 3,600 miles.
New concerns in Moscow, Idaho, where police say they don't have a suspect in the killings of 4 university students found stabbed to death in a home. Another police resignation in Uvalde, Texas. Acting Chief Mariano Pargas has retired a day before the city council was going to discuss his termination. That's after the slow response to this spring's massacre at the Robb Elementary School. Prosecutors in Maryland say dozens of priests were found to have abused parishioners. Our Norman Hall reports.
The 463-page report identifies 115 priests who were prosecuted for sex abuse and are identified publicly. It also includes an additional 43 priests accused of sexual abuse but not identified.
A federal judge will decide whether disgraced Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes should serve a lengthy prison sentence for duping investors. This is AP News. Twitter's continuing to lose engineers and other workers after an ultimatum by new owner Elon Musk.
Twitter's new owner Elon Musk gave workers a choice: either click on a link by close of business Thursday and pledge to work hardcore, or resign with 3 months severance pay. Since taking over Twitter less than 3 weeks ago, Musk fired the top executives, booted half the company's full-time staff of 7,500, and began firing engineers who took issue with him publicly. 3 engineers who left this week told they expect unpleasantness ahead now that 2/3 of Twitter's core services engineers are now apparently gone. Musk's managerial bomb-throwing style has some industry insiders wondering if Twitter might soon fray so badly it could actually crash. I'm Jennifer King.
U.S. agriculture officials are proposing changes to the federal program that helps pay for groceries for low-income families. This update would keep a bump in payments for fresh fruits and vegetables started in the WIC program because of the pandemic. I'm Jackie Quinn, AP News.
It's time for your Morning Blend traffic alert. This segment of Morning Blend is brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. And looking at the streets at the moment, Gladstone Road, not as bad as other mornings this week. Traffic just more than halfway backed up, but it looks like it's pretty slow going. So Malabala Highway is, as always, with traffic backed up past Fire Trail Road. The traffic on Fire Trail Road eastbound is building. Let's look at your other hot spot, Eastern Road, backed up way past Fox Hill Road. Rough commute on that road, and so is Prince Charles. Backed up, traffic is backed up way past Elizabeth Estates entrance. There's also traffic on Fox Hill Road northbound, heading towards Prince Charles. Bernard Road is building traffic. That's backed up and backing up all the way, looks like, to Kingsway. And traffic on Carmichael Road eastbound, that's already tight. Heading northbound on Blue Hill Road. Those are your hot spots this morning. We'll have more maybe later in the show. That's your Morning Blend traffic alert. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan, and don't pay until February 2023. Now it's time for your Morning Blend weather check. In your weather today, the general situation: a frontal boundary is stalled across the northwest Bahamas, while a moderate to fresh breeze blows throughout the country. Mariners and residents should be alert for possible waterspout and funnel cloud activity in the vicinity of the front. Beachgoers are to be vigilant for rip currents along north and easterly beaches. In the northwest Bahamas, weather partly cloudy to cloudy, warm and breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly along and ahead of the front through tonight. Advisory: your small craft should exercise caution. Northeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather cloudy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the central Bahamas ahead of the front through tonight. Elsewhere, partly sunny, warm and breezy with isolated showers and a thunderstorm, becoming partly cloudy and breezy with an isolated shower tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in the southeast islands. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots in the central islands, increasing 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central Bahamas, building 4 to 6 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Your daytime high temperature, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Your low temperature tonight, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll have your extended forecast for the next 2 days in the 8 o'clock hour.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Come down to RBC. Get a loan to buy one. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
If you were exposed to COVID-19, have symptoms, or traveled recently, get tested so that you can have peace of mind about your status. Just visit one of our convenient locations on New Providence at the University of the Bahamas or Golden Gates Plaza, weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Eleuthera at the Three Island Dock, Mondays through Thursdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Exuma at the Regatta Park, weekdays 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. and Sundays 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Abaco at Maxwell Food Store, Mondays through Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The COVID-19 test results will be ready in 15 minutes and the tests are free.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
So, what would you like to discuss?
Insurance, Doc. It's so frustrating. I go to the mall for motor, drive to Bay Street to get a home quote, swing east to file a medical claim, then go west for a pensions appointment. Don't even get me started about life.
I'm going to prescribe CG Atlantic. They have all the insurance you're looking for.
Really? Thanks.
With all the insurance you need, we're like a doctor that doesn't waste your time and money. CG Atlantic. Good like that.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our business. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Thinking of adding a little color to your house? Well, what are you waiting for? There's no better time to give your house a facelift than during the Colors Free promotion at CBS Bahamas. When you purchase Pratt & Lambert paint from CBS, color is absolutely free. You heard it right. You don't get charged for mixing colors. Now you can paint the outside, the inside, and all the accent walls a different color and save big all at the same time. Who knows? You can use that extra cash to watch a movie, get some food, or even grab a coffee. Visit CBS Bahamas today in the Southwest Plaza, where color is free.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Do you want a chance to win one of 5 Yamaha Kryptonite scooters? Do you like the great taste of Frito-Lay chips? Well, all you have to do is purchase chips like Lay's, Doritos, and Cheetos at your favorite grocery store, and you can enter to win thanks to Frito-Lay and the Island Wholesale Scooter Giveaway Promotion. Want to know more? Join us at Value Depot, Tony Williams Drive, November 19th, this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. for a chance to play Island Wholesale Shoot and Win game for instant prizes and a chance to win one of 5 Yamaha scooters. Frito-Lay, distributed by Island Wholesale.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start dollars into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Happy holidays! Nassau Tile is having its Christmas sale. That's right, from November 21st to November 26th, you can save up to 25% off selected ceramic tiles or up to 60% off selected items. And take 20% off store-wide on all tiles, thin-set, grout, and mosaics. Our tile experts are ready to guide you in selecting the right tiles for your kitchen backsplash, living room, bathroom, walkway, and patio. So don't miss your chance to spruce up this holiday season. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom at 43 Daswell Street and save big with Nassau Tile, where the world is at your feet.
Okay, class, let's begin today's history lesson. Ancient civilization used to visit stadiums to watch musicians perform. It was called a live concert.
Teacher, what year was that?
Researchers believe it was around 2019. Normal life feels like a long time ago. As things return to normal, remember it is essential to be fully immunized against all vaccine diseases like COVID-19, rubella, polio, hepatitis, mumps, and influenza. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Government of Canada, and the United States of America.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now. 3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Start of the new way.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robarge along with Teej Grant. And Teej, you wanted to respond to some things that Caller was saying.
the last call. I wanted to acknowledge him. You know, it's weird when you talk about speculation with these things. When people don't have the full information and they don't have the full transparency, they're gonna speculate. That's what happens, right? And I think it's kind of crazy to think that people won't at least try to figure out what's happening and how this impact us going into the future as a country. And so to be fair to media out there, you know, this is their job, this is what they do, and they're going to continue to ask questions. It's in front of the court. Everything is going to come out. That's great. On top of that, this does not happen every day. This fella's talking about this happens every day. It does not. It's ridiculous to think that this happens every day. Even when you have dummy companies out there, these dummy companies are structured better than real companies. And so you can't tell me that this kind of thing happens every single day. No, it doesn't. And this is why these companies, corporations, this is why they work hard to cover up some stuff. It's just that this one was slack. That's all. that's all it was. He was slack. And normally they're not slack because they know that if they get caught, they get put under the jail for money crimes.
Yeah.
They know that money crimes get more than murder crimes sometimes. Am I right?
Especially here. Well, our murder sentences.
So that's why. And so to say that this happens every day is just insane. And it's not true at all.
No, you're absolutely right.
And, money laundering happens everywhere. Yes. You know, it happens in multiple companies. Yes. I understand that. I understand they have dummy companies everywhere. But to say that this kind of collapse happens.
A million people don't lose billions of dollars.
It does not happen. It does not happen. And so I just wanted to bring some truth to what he was saying.
Yeah.
But I appreciate his comments, his remarks. He did.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, and thank you for taking my call. I am a day trader. I scalp. And I have a pretty good idea of how you can do exactly what Mr. Bankman did. All you need to do is to know how to leverage token as collateral, but then you need to have your own bank to do that, and surely he did that. I'd like for us to try to make a connection between the trip to Barbados and also what's going on here locally. But now I want you to pick up a date. November 25th, 2011, Bitcoin did a pump and dump. What actually happened is called a pump and dump. Now, remember that date, November 25th. Remember, this is in November now, right? 2011. Bitcoin took about an hour to pump and about 30 seconds to dump. And that's what this guy did. And, you know, it happens all the time. It's just that you need to have your sell stop and you be ready for the dump, because that's when you make money. People need to realize that money is made when people are buying and when they are selling if you're trading. Now, this leverage issue. I have a friend, and he was a personal friend. He gave him a leverage of 1 to 2,000. He only would give me a leverage of 1 to 500. Now, here's what this guy was able to do with oil. Now, let's look at leverage. If it's 1 to 2,000, for every dollar I put there, I can make $2,000. Equally, for every dollar I put there, I can lose $2,000. The guy made $120,000 in 24 hours, thanks to his broker. So your broker could help you out. He's like your producer on your show. So just keep in mind, this guy was broker and trader, whatever else you want to call him, but he did a nice pump and dump. And it happens all the time, and Bitcoin ain't going nowhere, because if you keep pumping and dumping, someone can pump it up, and I can be there to catch the dump.
Okay, all right. I wouldn't have phrased it that way, but definitely, there's some strange stuff going on in terms of trading with coins, and we know we've talked ad nauseum about FTT and FTX and what happened. We know what happened there, I think.
Yeah.
So I can get to some of more of these text messages before we get to the 8 o'clock news. So Sam knew exactly why he chose the Bahamas. No corporate or income tax, and the government or regulators treated them more like friends than an entity they were supposed to oversee. Unlike a stock crash, which is a normal thing, clients' funds are not regularly used. That is a crime, and that is a big difference in this instance, and it does not happen regularly, like you said. Chester, you heard what SBF said in his latest interview. I hate regulators after regulators. That's all you need to know about this investor and whether he knew what he was doing or not. Really, he must not have a lawyer. It's really odd, his public pronouncements. This is going to be a mess for a while. Yeah.
It is odd. It is extremely odd.
He's been saying lots of strange things.
This is the most, I mean, has he really talked this much before now?
No, I mean, I guess if Twitter is talking, I think maybe,
maybe Twitter. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna later on in Morning Blend is somewhere around Sam's age. Like, is this how things are now? Is this what we do?
Right.
Because I don't know. Maybe I just old school, whatever that means to people.
Yeah. I'm just not understanding how he doesn't have all systems in place. You're operating, at a very high level in business. You would think that the first thing that, must be done is to put all of my systems in place. But it just seems like that wasn't done. And even in his own words on Twitter, he explains that.
Right. Yeah. This person says, if you're going to cry about losing 100,000 in crypto, you shouldn't be investing in crypto. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to give people some context of how risky this is and how quickly the bottom can fall out. This person said, this ain't who have access to all the internal records said quite clearly it was a giant governance failure. So what we trying to say, no matter what you do, people will rob banks, so why put a combination lock on the vault? That's what the caller was trying to say.
Right. So I didn't understand, but
yeah. This person says, this shouldn't be made into a political football because questions will ask, when did FTX enter the jurisdiction? When was the DARE Act passed? We should really be careful here.
Oh, but it will, though. But it will.
It is already.
But it will. It shouldn't be used as we understand it shouldn't be, but it will. Like, that's reality. Yeah. Anywhere in the world.
Yep.
Anywhere. Just point. Just spin the globe and see where your finger lands. And right there, that same place, if this happened at that country, the same thing would be happening politically.
That's exactly right. We got a break for the 8 o'clock news, and Morning Blend will return here on Guardian Radio 96.9. And now at 8:17, it's time for your final look at this morning's weather, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. The general situation, a frontal boundary, is stalled across the northwest Bahamas, while a moderate to fresh breeze blows throughout the country. Mariners and residents should be alert for possible waterspout and funnel cloud activity in the vicinity of the front. Beachgoers are to be vigilant for rip currents along north and easterly beaches. In the northwest Bahamas, weather partly cloudy to cloudy, warm and breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly along and ahead of the front through tonight. Advisory, small craft should exercise caution, winds north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, weather cloudy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly in the central Bahamas ahead of the front through tonight. Elsewhere, partly sunny and warm and breezy with isolated showers and a thunderstorm, becoming partly cloudy and breezy with an isolated shower tonight. Small craft should exercise caution in the southeast islands. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots in the central islands, increasing 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central Bahamas, building 4 to 6 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Your daytime high temperature today, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius, and your low temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. In your extended forecast, the frontal boundary will meander across the northwest Bahamas through the remainder of this weekend, while a building high pressure supports fresh to strong winds behind it. Your outlook for Saturday, partly cloudy to cloudy and breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms ahead and along the frontal boundary. Variably cloudy, warm and breezy, with passing showers elsewhere. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Small craft caution continues. And your forecast for Sunday, weather partly cloudy to cloudy and windy with isolated showers and thunderstorms in the vicinity of the front, and partly sunny and breezy with passing showers elsewhere. Winds northeast at 15 to 25 knots in the northwest islands, and easterly at 15 to 20 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 5 to 8 feet in the northwest Bahamas. Small craft advisory is in effect. 4 to 6 feet in the central and southeast Bahamas. Small craft caution continues. Your tropical weather outlook expected during the next 5 days. That's your weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. Don't forget Jollification at the Bahamas National Trust is this weekend. Sand Dollar will be covering admission for B&T members with a Sand Dollar enabled wallet. If you're a non-member and you have a Sand Dollar enabled wallet, Sand Dollar will take $10 off the cost of your ticket, which means you only pay $5. Children ages 5 to 17 with an adult who has a Sand Dollar enabled wallet get in free. Sand Dollar discounts are available to a limited number of attendees, so you may want to get to Jollification early. And it's time again for your Morning Blend Traffic Alert. This segment of Morning Blend brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. Gladstone Road, not as bad as the other mornings this morning, maybe because it's a Friday, but the traffic is still backed up close to Fire Trail Road, but not reaching Fire Trail Road. Sir Milo Butler Highway, a different story. Traffic is thick all the way past Fire Trail Road and halfway to Carmichael Road. Fire Trail Road, traffic in the eastbound lane backed up halfway to Gladstone Road. So if you can avoid that area, I would do so. Looking like some building traffic on the roundabout by Saunders Beach. Traffic backed up almost to Go Slow Bend. In the east, traffic is not as bad as it was in the 7 o'clock hour. Traffic still backed up a little bit past Fox Hill Road, but it's flowing as you approach Fox Hill Road westbound. Traffic still a bit thick in the middle of that commute before you hit Village Road. There is traffic on Village Road that we can see. There's still a ton, so if you can avoid it, avoid it. That seems like it's causing some problems on Soldier Road, all the way back to Prince Charles. So if you can find an alternative route, I would do so. That's your morning blend traffic alert. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan. And don't pay until February 2023.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Come to RBC. Get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
If you were exposed to COVID-19, have symptoms, or traveled recently, get tested so that you can have peace of mind about your status. Just visit one of our convenient locations on New Providence at the University of the Bahamas or Golden Gates Plaza, weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Eleuthera at the 3 Island Dock, Mondays through Thursdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Exuma at the Regatta Park, weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Abaco at Maxwell Food Store, Mondays through Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The COVID-19 test results will be ready in 15 minutes and the tests are free.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Shanae's Chesapeake Road Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get your Christmas frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. Musical Christmas LED and laser lights. A large variety of tree ornaments. Lighted angels and Santa tree toppers. Bright and lively colored Christmas balls in all sizes. Garlands, wreaths, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Check our selections online at www.janae's.com.
Happy holidays! Nassau Tile is having its Christmas sale. That's right, from November 21st to November 26th, you can save up to 25% off selected ceramic tiles or up to 60% off selected items. And take 20% off store-wide on all tiles, thin set, grout, and mosaics. Our tile experts are ready to guide you in selecting the right tiles for your kitchen backsplash, living room, bathroom, walkway, and patio. So don't miss your chance to spruce up this holiday season. Call 322-2100 or visit our showroom at 43 Daswell Street and save big with Nassau Tile, where the world is at your feet.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. Know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend. I'm Chester Robards along with Tej Grant. And unfortunately, the gentlemen who were supposed to join us to talk about International Men's Day are not able to make it.
The gentleman who was supposed to come to talk about International Men's Day didn't make it? What? International Men's Day?
Yeah.
The women would never. Women would never. They don't let one day slide to acknowledge them. They will never do this.
Well, to be fair, he's been talking about International Men's Day all week. I don't know if it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe he's just like, I don't want to talk to Chester.
Man, we'll assign another gentleman to talk to Chester then. Assign somebody else, because International Men's Day needs we men need all the recognition we can get. Like right now, we're starving. We're thirsty.
Me and you holding it down.
Oh my goodness, let's hold it down.
We're holding it down right now.
And yo, I didn't even get to tell you this, but congratulations, you're a father now on the birth of your daughter. I didn't get to publicly congratulate you. I did it privately. But guys, if you're listening, Chester is a brand new dude, and the baby is kicking his butt, but he's managing, and I'm so proud of him.
I appreciate that coming from the ultimate girl dad.
I got two daughters. I got a 4-year-old, and I got one that's about to be 2. And it is a challenge, but I love them. I love their energy. And it's kind of addictive to be around them, and my social life is out the window right now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get it back though. Parents got to learn how to take care of themselves. So I'm trying to get a little bit of my social life back.
They acclimating you to their social life. You are their social life.
Exactly. So when I make plans on Friday now or Saturday, I make plans to get up with somebody else that has children, so we can have wine while we watch them play.
Right.
So that's what it is now on Friday nights. We sit down, watch 2020, have wine, laugh, and then watch them play.
Oh man, it's great. It's great though. So yeah, in recognition of International Men's Day, we were supposed to talk about some stuff. If you guys out there are fathers, I must tell you, as I have joined the club, it's an amazing thing. I don't know how guys miss out on this experience. It is a terrible thing that some men do. Neglecting their kids.
It is. It's something that I can understand even more so now that I have children of my own. At first I thought I don't know the circumstances, but now it's it's tough for me in any circumstance to not be there for the children, And I know we must mention, I had my first child at 35 years old.
Yeah.
I think, you're just having your first child now. I'm not going to say how old you are, but you're older than 35 out there.
It's okay. And I am not ashamed. I am 40 years old. I am 40 years old.
40.
There may be more to come.
And there will be. And also, I must mention that we do have friends, me and you. Yeah. We have friends that have also recently had babies.
That's
so
right. So
congratulations to Stephen.
Big up Stephen
Roll.
Roll, yeah.
I'm sure he could be listening. He just had a
Rocket.
baby. He had a little girl, right?
No, a little boy.
Oh, a little boy. He had a little king. Okay,
yeah,
so congrats, Stephen. And he had his first child in his late 30s.
Yeah.
And then also Anton, Mega. We know him as Mega. Congrats to Mega on the birth of Alex. Well, Alex is like a grown man right now.
Yeah,
Alex is a big, he's a big man right now.
I was holding him last weekend and my arm fell off.
It's real. He's a sack of potatoes right now.
Oh, yeah.
And so congrats to Mega. And the point I'm trying to drive home is, you know, all of us are friends. All of us have been friends for a long time, and all of us waited until we were ready to have children. We did it on our time. We didn't go out there and you know, we're loose cannons in our younger days. We find too many times we have the story of those guys that got like 3-4 children by the time they're 30.
Yeah.
But we don't really highlight the stories of the guys having their first children when they're in their mid 30s or late 30s, and they're like better than ever before. You know what I'm saying?
True.
They're primed to do it. They're very ripe as for parenting. And so, like, you know, I just want to give y'all credit. I don't want to pat myself on the back. Out to Jason too. Jason has 2 girls.
Yeah.
Jason,
you know,
Jason,
Wally,
another one of our friends.
Wally had a kid.
What?
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody. You know, it's a beautiful thing. You know, when we were in our 20s, we could say like, yo, we had a blast, but we didn't have the responsibility of children. And that's also a beautiful thing. So to the younger men and women that are listening, if you can, you know, take advantage of your younger days, enjoy your 20s. You know,
we can't forget Shant. The Shant.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. How could I forget LaShant?
This small group of gentlemen.
Yeah, he had his first child.
We
in
had
his mid-30s.
plenty first, man.
Yeah. And his Zaya is 1 year old now. I think just turned 1.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing, man. All of us are just having kids. All of our kids are like around the same age. I think my daughters and Jason's daughters would be the oldest. And then Tamiko, Sawyer Boy. You can't forget Sawyer Boy.
Yeah, he's got
Taylor Rose is, I think, 5 or 6 now.
Yeah.
So
and I remember when she was born. Jeez.
Yes.
Crazy.
And so shout out to Sawyer Boy too, an amazing, incredible dad. Shout outs to Arnold. Shout outs to Get Off.
Yeah.
You know, we got some incredible dads around there.
Yeah, absolutely. I implore you, man, to just be the best fathers to your kids you can be, man. Be there. And the best you can be is there.
It's tough. You know, I don't want people to think that it's not tough to be a dad, or, you know, let me rephrase. It's tough to be a man.
Yeah.
Period. Whether you have children or you don't have children, to be a man in our society, you know, the pressures don't only come from, you know, men having children. They come from, you know, other places too. And so, you know, I just want to salute all the men that are doing it correctly, you know, that are walking righteously, that are thriving to be their best selves. And, you know, and we have to speak positive things and give positive affirmations to our kings. We don't do it enough. And the women, I'm gonna get on the women right now. The women think that's only reserved for them sometimes. But we have to learn that men need this too. Men need those affirmations too. And men, if you're listening, don't feel no way. Don't pause when you reaffirm your brethren, your brother.
Yeah, big up your
you
friends.
know, there's no pause. There's no pause in that. Don't follow up with no homo or nothing like that.
Yeah.
If your boy is amazing, let him know he's amazing. You know, that's what it is. If your boy look handsome that day, tell him, yo, you look sharp today. You look handsome today. You know, there's no fault. There's nothing gay about that, you know, but far too much we worry about the optics of it, like how it's gonna look or how it's gonna feel to us, you know. And
man. I think we lost you there, if you can still hear us. But no, he's right, absolutely right. Tell your friends you love them, man. You know, life is much too short. We lost you, TJ, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry about that. My connection was unstable just now.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I was just saying, as men.
Yeah. Accolades, yeah, absolutely. And
definitely.
I hear your little princesses and queens over there now.
Yeah, you know, so I'm recording from home right now, and of course, my little one, she's always like, you know, trying to talk to me, and so she will beat down my door, even though my door is locked and closed, and she will like sound off her voice. She wants people to hear her. So,
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Incredible.
Yeah.
So, thanks for holding it down for International Men's Day there, brother.
we have to, man. I when I found out that the guy wasn't gonna be there, I was just like, oh, why isn't he coming? But we are two men that are going through it. We've been going through it.
Yeah.
We've contributed to our communities at some point.
Yeah.
And at some point, older men have to get with younger men and kind of what it takes to actually be a man in our community. What must we do? What are the steps? We didn't have that guidance. We only relied on one another. And thank God that we had good parents, good role models that taught us like, hey, give back to your community. And so that's what we did. And all the work that we did at the Children's Hostel, and other places too, it's just, it's good memories, man. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm happy that my brothers, my friends, were the ones to encourage each other to say, let's do this. To this day, Sawyer Boy has a backpack drive at the beginning of every school year or whatever. And that's something that he really doesn't have to do, but he does it, so, we got to salute the men that are out there that are being positive role models, that are doing things for the community. Look good for PR or it's going to look good. We're not attached to any businesses or anything like that.
Right.
We're doing this as men, so I just want to salute the men, especially who are doing those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hold on your friends, man. When they say, yo, I need some help, you go. Hold on your friends. That's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Let's some of these text messages were coming in as we were on the break.
Okay.
This person says, okay, I'm tired of talking about the Securities Commission. Now, let's talk about what the Securities Commission was talking about, because this is a kind of an important aspect of this story. The Securities Commission, so there was this big hullabaloo yesterday about money that the Bahamian government was allowed to be transferred, and nobody knew. So it was I think it was stated in a court document or something, but nobody knew what anybody was talking about. There was a reporter from the Financial Times who was, and he asked about it, and the press secretary Clint Watson said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I can't speak to it." Nobody knew what was with this whole thing about the Bahamian government allowing funds to be transferred.
Okay.
And later on in the day, the Securities Commission released a statement saying that they, on the 12th of November, transferred all digital assets of FTX to a digital wallet that they control for safekeeping. So then we found out what everybody was talking about yesterday, because it was all speculation the entire day. Everybody was like, oh man, they allowed the Bahamians to withdraw their money, but other investors can't get their money. And it was just crazy speculation. And now we know, and we think that this is what people were talking about, even though the Securities Commission didn't speak to specifically to the fact of what other people were talking about. They didn't speak to the speculation specifically. They just said it was us who transferred assets to our wallet, and we're holding it for safekeeping. So we don't know if there were other transactions that people were seeing, and I don't even know how people were seeing transactions. That's beyond me. But they have digital assets in a digital wallet that they're keeping. So yeah.
And I think I don't know if somebody, but I think there's a platform that somebody's using to kind of track where the assets go, because I've seen that. And they also have like screenshots of the transactions as well. And so it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Listen, this, you talk about leaking things, with WhatsApp and Twitter and all of these things. I've not seeing so much leaky information. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And what's a shame is it don't happen here enough. It does not happen here enough. When I say we, the society, but also the press, need more people in government offices and other places blowing some whistles.
Yeah,
we need
absolutely,
because there is some stuff going on in this country, and we just can't find out about it because we don't have access to information because we don't have a Freedom of Information Act that works, and then governments are often tight-lipped on all sorts of things. Sometimes they say we're doing an investigation into something, doing a report, never see the report. So.
Yeah, it's almost like we still doing it like we in the 80s,
Yeah.
Everything is written, even though that's not it, it's still digital, but they might as well handwrite everything. You might as well do it like that. Might as well type.
It's true. And so now we're getting information about this FTX thing from all over the place. Not the least from Sam Bankman-Fried himself via Twitter. But the Securities Commission, again, is holding these digital assets.
Their fingertips. Yes.
And they say it's they've exercised their power. So Digital Exchanges Act, it is their prerogative to do what they did. And they said they also don't recognize that FTX Digital Markets, which is the company registered in the Bahamas, is part of the U.S. Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing.
Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm. That's where it gets a little dodgy as well, and that's what the argument from the FTX U.S. CEO is, that they should be in control of assets from all kind of places, including our jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
So now it's going to be a boxing match between, this guy and the provisional liquidators over here.
Yeah, I'm holding, like I said, I'm holding on like it's a roller coaster because it's been going on for quite some time now, and I think everybody's waiting for it to blow over somewhat.
Yeah, I agree.
But we aren't quite there yet. And it seems like we have a long way to go.
Yeah. We got some calls coming in. Let's take some of these calls. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, Chester. Good morning, T. Grant.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, brother
My
Jeff.
friend from another mother. I haven't seen you for a long time, my brother, but hey, welcome back to the airwaves.
It's good to hear your voice, man.
Chester, going straight to point. It's really amazing that you do have whistleblowers because obviously somebody is disseminating this information out here. It is so sad that our government has not, or our parliament has not found fit to actually go into parliament and introduce the Freedom of Information Act, which if it had been enacted, chances are 2-1, this information would have been freely given to the Bahamian people for dissemination, for understanding, and so forth. The general perception out here is our government is a government of secrets. They expect that we can't handle the truth, or we are not supposed to know what the truth is in this country unless we discover or stumble upon it for ourselves. I think we need to get beyond that. There's an old saying that says, an educated consumer is your best customer. And I believe the more that Bahamians know how their country is being run, how it's being run, who are the parties involved, when we are approached with these things, even from an international standpoint, we are able to position ourselves in a way where we can respond to them appropriately without having to backpedal or backstep. And that's the thing what's wrong with our people right now, because speculations are going to run rampant when the people would not reveal the true information that we desire and need to know. And that's as simple as I can put it, But continue the great work. I just want our government, and this goes for government current, future governments, as well as past governments. The people in this country are well woke. We see what's going on, and we want you guys to respond to us in the manner that we demand that you respond to us as plain and simple. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
Thanks for your contribution. No, I mean, we keep hearing from governments we are transparent, and then we don't feel it.
So I mean, what we do need though is we do need more information, and we need more education on the Freedom of Information Act, and why the stagnation. So I would like for us to get deeper into that, but I know that's probably a week's worth of shows. It'll take a while to get to the bottom of that because everybody's going to be tight-lipped and opaque the same way they are today. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take this other call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Oh, no, you're very, very staticky.
Can you hear me, Jefferson?
No, we can't. I guess try back. The line was pretty bad. I just want to read this text message that came in earlier. They say, good morning, Chester. I know this is not your topic of the day, but some light needs to shed on the state of the clinic in Gambia Village. I think they mean the yard, hasn't been manicured in about 3 months. The steps have been damaged without repair for almost a year, with elderly persons having a very difficult time getting into the clinic as the wheelchair ramp is closed off for reasons unknown. Huh? There's a clinic that's open? All right. Somebody take a look at Gambia Village Clinic. Sounds bad. It sounds pretty bad.
It does sound pretty bad, and to have those reports, be texted to you like that is, heartbreaking.
Yeah. And, I've talked many times on this show about the state of things for disabled people and differently abled people. Sidewalks, ramps, those kinds of things, and it just needs to be fixed. It needs to be paid attention to, and then fixed.
But when you have family members that are older, and some family members who may need those things, who may need that accessibility, you understand how vital it is, how important it is, not only for a clinic to have it, public establishment to have it,
right,
and but especially a clinic, though. It's weird because it's a clinic,
right?
And so I guess that's the point that the person is trying to make, is that how do we have a clinic here without a ramp that's functional? So it is crazy.
It's crazy. So my financial advisor and counsel is telling me that if the transfers occurred over blockchain or any distributed ledger, then the transfer would be visible to everyone. So if it was distributed ledger technology, it provides a high level of trust among the participants and practically eliminates the chance of fraudulent activities occurring on the ledger. So, given that...
Right, and then people saw these withdrawals, and then they got scared, and then people started to take out.
Right. So they're saying that's the presumption of how the Securities Commission must have moved the assets. They do say it's surprising that the assets are in the SCB's wallet, saying normally the regulator would create an omnibus account of some sort that is where assets would be held. But it seems like the SEB is saying that FTX's assets have been commingled with other assets. Needs to be clarified, or it might become another legal issue for the Securities Commission and the government. There are so many possible legal issues that can come out of this. I can't even imagine.
Listen, since all of this has happened, cryptocurrency experts on Facebook or Instagram try to friend me and send me messages. So,
they're dealing with their own issues right now.
In that regard, it's a new day,
Yeah, oh gee.
But on the other side, man, it's a snowball of messiness.
Yeah, oh yeah. We got another call coming in. Let's take this call. Maybe it's this call back. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Blend. Nope, still bad. No, can't hear you. Okay, let's take this break, this final break, and we'll be back to wrap up Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Get a merry makeover this Christmas from Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan to win a home renovation. This Christmas, unwrap the celebration. $3,000 for your home, new lamp, new decor, new couch that you
Win
own.
a $3,000 home goods gift card when you apply for a Scotia Plan loan this Christmas. We're giving you the gift of a low interest rate and up to 2 months with no payments. Plan the perfect Christmas with your Scotia Plan loan. Use it for any purpose, plus benefit from flexible payment terms. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan now to enter to win a merry home makeover.
Link up with BTC.
Did you get the speed bump? All BTC subscribers with a bundled fiber connection receive the speed increase. Totally free and totally automatic. It's just another way of ensuring that we are delivering best value to our customers, keeping them on the leading edge of everything awesome. Link up with BTC to get your speed bump today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com to learn more.
With all the fiber you need, link up.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, no price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
We're good for you.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up.
Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Blend. I'm Chester Robards along with Tej Grant. And we are wrapping up this FTX conversation. We were supposed to have a conversation about International Men's Day.
Right.
And,
let's get back talking about men. Let's stop talking about FTX, please.
you know, the thing about men, and we have a doctor on the show all the time. And you hear this all the time, but this is about men's health. That men don't go to the doctor.
That is true.
And that is part of why a lot of men suffer some long-term illnesses. They die quickly because when you feel a little something, I got a good friend. He feel a little something, he going to the doctor.
Right.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
I might be one of those people who feel a little something and wait to the doctor.
Okay.
A little couple minutes of pain, depending on what the problem is
right.
could save your life.
Correct.
Correct. And if you're not enrolled in the public health insurance scheme, go do that. You need to go to the doctor. There are too many health issues in this country.
And the thing is, they have the test now where they can draw your blood and they can screen for many different things.
So prostate.
Even prostate.
You don't got to worry about the finger exam anymore.
Right. So they really can do a thorough examination if you just take your time and just go, let them take a little bit of your blood, I guess, and see what's going on with you.
Absolutely.
Give yourself a checkup. Men's life expectancy right now worldwide is like 8 years less than women or something like that. 9 years less than women.
But that sounds about right.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And so it's alarming, but after being a father, I do understand how some men sometimes forget about themselves. They neglect themselves. I'm guilty of this too, Chester.
Yeah, I know.
I'm guilty of this too. Like sometimes the girls are so important to me. I could do it. I can go to the doctor. I could just take a drive over there. But sometimes I got so much going on in my day. I'm worried about providing, and taking care of the home and all that. Yeah. And I don't know if many fathers have the same responsibilities that I have, but I have to take care of the home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I get caught up in all of it.
Yeah.
And, I could be guilty of that. Yeah. But it did feel good. I think about 6 months ago, I felt like I'm not feeling right. Not the way I want to. Yeah. And I know I need to get in shape. I know I need to work out. I know I need to eat properly. But I also had to go to the doctor and just had them draw my blood, and run every test that you can with that.
Right.
And that's what they did. And it felt good to get a clean bill of health.
Yeah. And you mentioned something important. Do the preventative things, the things that are gonna keep you from having those long-term illnesses. Go walk, go run, do something.
Absolutely.
Try to start eating healthy. Cut down on those alcoholic beverages if you can't stop altogether. Because we want you to be around, man. We need, and the young men in our country are dying at an alarming rate from murder. We need men around.
Men teach yourselves how to cook. Sure. When my mother raised me, my mother said there's no guarantee that a woman is going to do what I do for you. So you learn to do what I do. And she did. She taught me, and I learned how to cook. So, I don't go take out 5 days a week. Yeah. I don't do that. I may take out twice a week and cook the other 5 days, but I'm not going to take out more than twice a week. It's just not happening. And when I do take out, I know exactly where I'm taking out from, what I'm getting, but I'm trying to be more responsible now. If I was over there this weekend, I would be at Jollification having drinks. I'm not even gonna lie to you because I need a break, and parents do. But we need the balance though. And the balance of it is important.
Right. Absolutely. That's our show, Morning Blend. We're going to gear up for Morning Blend Business. Thanks for staying with us. Stick with us though as we begin Morning Blend Business.
I will.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business. I am Chester Robard. Welcome to our listeners. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. We are definitely changing the gear from Morning Blend. We are talking with Stephen Gay from Suncash, and because they got a lot of good things going on. We heard from Suncash yesterday because Suncash is the official wallet holder for Jollification. Let's get that mic up there. So tell us about, and I know you guys did wine and art
Wine and
as
art,
well. Yes. And there's some tech that you're introducing. So tell us about some of the amazing tech that you got going on.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to say good morning, Bahamas, and good morning to you and Teach. Well, it feels good to be back in the broadcast world.
I was gonna say, you're no stranger.
Yeah, I'm no stranger, especially Guardian Radio, eh? Yeah, man. So, Suncash, when we talk about the tech, we clearly have a lot going on. I think that for a long time, a lot of the fintech that's been going on in the country has been like downplayed a lot.
Yeah.
And Suncash has been at the heel of a lot of it because we've been developing a lot under the radar.
Right.
Trying to make sure that we not only we're not the first to roll it out. We are the first to roll out a lot of technology, but we want to make sure it works and it's safe and it's within the government regulations.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing. So now we are sure that all of our tech works, and we're rolling it out now.
Right.
And so especially going into the new year, you're going to see a lot more things, a lot more exciting things tech-wise from Suncash, and we're going to go to a whole different level.
Yeah.
Like some of the things that we like at Wine and Arts a few weeks ago, we were able to fully provide a cash load wallet solution,
Right.
where we were able to guests were able to pay for entry to the event using our technology, which is now it's like it's a interoperable solution through central bank. So we were able to facilitate that, and we were able to load everyone's wallet through our kiosk on site.
So no matter which wallet you have, you could load $100.
Any wallet. And so that when you come to the, especially at Jollification, we're going to have the same setup at Jollification this weekend. And so once you come there, you can come to our tent. We'll have kiosks set up. You can just take your dollar bills, $100 bills, whatever, load it right into the machine, and your wallet is automatically credited in a matter of seconds.
Right. Okay. That's amazing. Let's start from the beginning because you mentioned something. Fintech digital wallets.
Yes.
Let's talk about what it is, what this whole digital wallet thing is, and fintech solutions that are coming out now, and $100.
Okay. We know that in a lot of areas, especially in the Bahamas, there are a lot of islands that don't have banks. Right. And there are a lot of people who are considered unbanked in our country. But so fintech solutions would offer that solution to be able to help to fill that need and fill that gap.
Right.
Let's take Suncash, for example, in our wallet. We have presence, and so for islands that would not have a bank or regular service banks, we would offer to go into our locations and you'll be able to load your wallets and then conduct transactions across the country in different way and to different agencies.
Right.
For example, through our wallet, you can pay government fees, your real property taxes, your driver's license renewals, and stuff like that through the app.
Right.
I think that a lot of other wallets offer the same feature as well. It's pretty standard now. Yeah. But with us, we are offering this to the family islands because we have that presence on the family islands.
Gotcha.
I can't speak to others, but I know that I can say that we are on the family islands, and we can offer that service that would be kind of difficult for, let's say, someone in the Aucklands to be able to have to come to Nassau to pay for a passport, and so on and so on. And so we try to fill that gap and take the lead in that role.
Got you. Okay. Talk some more about what kinds of products we're seeing come out of these fintech firms, solutions to certain things. Mm-hmm. You got the wallets, and then for people with businesses, small businesses especially, who there are high fees associated with certain things. What have you provided for things like small businesses that allow them to transact easily?
Okay, well, for Suncash, we offer a very robust merchant services package, right? We can offer, let's say, for a mom and pop store that's like in Eleuthera, for example, their foot traffic may not be as high, and they may not be able to qualify for some institutions for a POS system or what have
Right,
you.
right.
We can offer you a merchant services package that where you could be able to receive debit, Visa debit, like the regular debit and credit cards. We'd be able to offer, you'd be able to do those transactions via our platform.
Okay.
And then all of that can also be conducted straight through our app. And so that way, we give you a one-stop shop solution.
Right.
So you download our app, you're a merchant with us, you'll be able to conduct credit cards, transactions, whatever. We do a lot of it right now for like taxi drivers, so they don't have to carry around the big bulky POS system.
Yeah.
They can just say, okay, guys, your fare is $24.
Yeah.
They pull it up on the app, bing, 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 bing.
Right.
The user will put in their credit card number, or if we have certain types of devices that we can come to us and we can talk to you about to make it faster and easier.
Okay.
But that way, that happens. So now taxi drivers can take advantage of the digital space,
Right.
and don't have to lose out on that dollar from, let's say, a cruise ship.
Right.
For people who are familiar with who are card only.
Yeah.
So that's the type of a thing that we could bring there. When it comes to like rates and stuff, our rates, I don't want to talk on the air about our rates,
'cause
like that.
They
but
can differ.
Yes,
Right.
they differ depending on your company size and the type of business you want to do.
Right.
So just give us a call and we can sit down and see what best fits.
Yeah.
But our rates are very competitive,
Right.
very, very competitive. And so, we believe that with competitive rates, strong technology, we should be able to help to form the right mix for our country to move forward.
Yeah. It's interesting because this all kind of happened overnight in the last 2 years, 2-3 years. After Dorian, we know the push was strong with the central bank to get the sand dollar out there.
Yeah.
And SunCash was the trip I went to promote the sand dollar. SunCash was there.
Yes.
And that was able to help people who didn't have banks anymore to transact.
Exactly, and that's where we go back, like I said earlier.
Right.
We fill that gap for the unbanked and
Right.
those who may have limited banking services on family islands.
Yeah.
And I like how you mentioned Dorian. Yeah. After Dorian, we were able to step in and help to facilitate money transfers throughout to those affected areas like that. Especially during COVID, same thing.
Yeah.
We were able to step in and especially help out with the NIB.
Right.
We were able to help out with different services for like churches and other institutions who had to move money around, but we couldn't move like that because we were locked down.
Right.
We believe that we have the right mix to make it happen.
What was also impressive to me, because I've complained about these things on this platform many times, and again it happened almost overnight. So, and I'm going to get to the important part of this, but we would go to the United States. We'd be able to. We watch people like tap. They don't even take the card out their wallet. They tap their wallet on a machine and they pay, right? Things were super robust. Things didn't drop. Signal. Nobody said, "I got to reset this machine." I've never had that experience in the States. Never. In the food stores here, they constantly pulling the cord out. I don't understand what that's all about. Or they got to leave the station to go to another station to run your card.
Yeah.
And then you got to watch them with the hawk eye to make sure ain't nothing funny going on with your card. I pray that the food stores here fix those things, right? But now these wallet services and fintech companies almost overnight have brought the technology that we were drooling for so many years, that the United States has had right now ages, and you have it. But what's the adoption like? That's the thing. So far, in the last 2 years, obviously it's growing.
Yes.
But we see the big push now with sand dollar use at events. So this is like the third event in like a month.
Yes.
Where we're like pushing sand dollar use.
When it comes to you're talking about the connectivity. Is
that's one aspect of it. But my point more is like the technology that we've seen. Where TJ's now, he don't go to the food store and somebody be like, wait, let me reset this device, or let me go to this next cash register because this machine ain't working. But you guys have machines that can tap and pay, that can scan barcodes and pay. Stuff that we've been waiting on forever.
Okay, and we also have something called FacePay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Are
see
you
that,
familiar with that?
I am.
Tease, you familiar with FacePay?
I use FacePay almost every day right now.
Oh, well, you know that SunCash makes that available in the Bahamas, eh?
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
We now it's available to all of our merchants who are interested in it. It is reliable technology, Chester, like you talk about with the connectivity and what have you. We bring that to the Bahamas. And if the listeners out there who want to try it, go and test it out. Go to Bamboo Shack. Go to the Bush Cook. Go to the Bush Cook. Go to Bamboo Shack. Try it out. But first, download the SunCash app. Load up your wallet. And what happens is you don't have to take your phone or device with you.
Yeah.
So let's say I have $20 on I go to any location, a SunCash store, kiosk, or I load my wallet.
Yeah.
I can leave my phone in the car. I walk up to the car I drive.
Right.
And I can look into the camera, scan my face, and my account is automatically debited.
Right.
And so that way it allows a sense of safety.
Yeah.
It's fast, it's reliable, and that's the way how we're moving right now.
I'm gonna let my wife, who is a twin, test the safety feature. Her and her sister, I can let them test the safety feature.
Go right ahead.
See how it works.
Go right ahead. I'm confident that our technology, our FacePay technology, is safe and secure.
That's an awesome, and this is the point. Yeah, go ahead, teacher.
No, I just wanted to clarify. So I don't use FacePay on that level yet. So how I use it here is I just double click my side button on the iPhone.
Oh, okay.
And it of course it's face recognition to unlock your iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it automatically sends through the payment with your face recognition as well.
Yes.
Through your wallet on your iPhone.
And then that's what we're bringing, and that's when we talk about the merchant services and what we bring to the table. This is the level that we bring.
That and that's the important thing I'm talking about. I want to see more merchants. I want the food store I go to allow me to FacePay.
Yeah.
I want the food store I go to allow me to tap. I want or scan a barcode.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I am tired of the people telling me they are watching these young women have to unplug these machines, and it's just the most arcane thing that you can ever think of in 2022.
They're giving it the Nintendo treatment. You know how the Nintendo uses
they got to blow
the TV.
Blowing it. They're giving it the Nintendo treatment. So
yeah, but we have you covered with that 100%.
But and that's why I ask about adoption. Mm-hmm. Like, are more people asking for this stuff? Are every day you're seeing more merchants say, "Hey,
Yes,
let me get this thing because my people frustrated."
Yes, we are. We're seeing an uptick in it now, especially after a few months back. We launched it at the expo that was in Exuma.
Right.
And during the time after we launched it officially at the expo, we took it and we put it right into play at the Exuma Regatta, the Rollville Regatta.
Right.
And so we powered the entire the regatta site. And we empowered everybody with the FacePay technology, so you could go up and let's say buy your Kong fries using FacePay.
Yeah.
Go buy a cold drink with FacePay, and that changed the dynamic of the whole regatta experience.
Yeah.
And that's something we're looking to expand in the new year, to go to and to partner with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture to try to help to modernize the way how we do business at regatta sites.
Right.
And we hope to be that this whole thing was just spread around and everybody would get on board.
Yeah.
Stephen, somebody's asking me, and just to clarify, because you did mention this earlier, but I just want you to clarify because they probably just tuned in. I'm getting a text message from Grand Bahama asking if you need a bank account to put money or to put into your wallet.
No, not necessarily. What happened?
Can you explain that to them again, please?
Okay, cool. So to my Grand Bahama friends, good morning. We will be there soon. You will see us in a big way in Grand Bahama real soon. We currently have an office in Grand Bahama, so our presence is in Grand Bahama right now. And so you'll see more of us. But anyway, to get to have a basic account with us, you just go into your app store, iOS, the Apple Store or the Android Store, Play Store. Download just look for SunCash Bahamas. You'll see our logo, download it, and we have a basic registration that gives you a certain tier. Once you get into that tier, that allows you to just send do basic transactions, wallet to wallet, load up your wallet, basically like that. Now, if you want to connect, we give you the option to connect a debit or credit card to it, so you could do more things. So it's just like any other, Like PayPal, for example, you could attach a card to your
Absolutely.
wallet and expands whatever you got to do. Same thing with us.
Right.
So if you want to connect to your bank card, you can load up your bank card. Gives you more flexibility to do more things. And especially like in our app, we do a lot of things like you could buy like gift cards. Our gift card selection is so vast. Teach, go check it out. We can offer like with this Christmas season coming up. Let's say, for example, we can offer you digital gaming gift cards, Robux, Xbox,
really?
PlayStation. You can buy those digital cards.
Interesting.
Walmart cards, for example. You can buy those cards through our app, and they actually work. iTunes, everything works seamlessly. That there may be some challenges, like for example, like with Walmart. We've noticed that there are some challenges like using certain debit cards.
Right.
Okay.
That goes away with us. You buy it through us, that's automatically credited, then you can apply that however you want, whenever you want. And so we just try to make that a little easier for you. And so by doing that, we open up this digital space for you, TH. So your Grand Bahamian friends, they don't have to worry. You can connect your bank card if you want to, and you can do it. If you want to send money through Western Union, we have a very awesome feature through Western Union through our app. You save 50% on all transactions through our app.
Oh, really?
And so that way it's safe, it's secure, it's fast, 24 hours a day.
That's great.
Yeah, man. So
I have someone saying that it's a great thing, a great show, but they say cash is still king because people give you discounts for cash.
Well, if that's how you feel, you can load up you could still withdraw from your wallet. So we still give you cash. So it's still the same. We just give you a little flexibility. That's all.
And that won't last for long, because right now we have establishments over here in South Florida that are cashless. Establishments that'll give you discount for using card instead of cash. So that won't last too long. I understand what they're saying, but I don't think that would be the trend going forward.
This person talking about some biblical level stuff over here. Good morning. Your social media play a huge part in Revelations, not revealing stuff. Revelations, the book of the Bible. So you are now pushing swipe and facial recognition. Next, we'll be pushing a chip, so you could swipe your hand on or your forehead. And I'm sure you all know exactly what I mean.
In your forehead or in your hand, where you could just have facial recognition or recognize your handprint.
They say it's so funny how backwards, they were trying to say, was how backwards the Bahamas is, always jumping on the wrong bandwagon. I don't think this is that.
I don't agree with that one. But it's funny that some Bahamians will say that about this. Some Bahamians, and Stephen, I'm sure you've heard this many times.
No, we lost you there again, Teach. It was probably a good time to go to our break for our morning business report, so let's do that, and we will be right back.
Okay.
The secret is out. Thursdays have gone TCL at Alive. Thursday, November 17th and November 24th, you can save big on select TCL devices. Shop early for the holidays and get the best deals on devices starting as low as $19. Alive has doorbuster specials, TCL savings, and more. So stop, drop, and run to your nearest Alive location closest to you. We are Alive. Terms and conditions apply.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. It's a place where you can download a 2-hour movie in seconds and stay connected to loved ones even when traveling far from home. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to my loan, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. An article released on Wednesday revealed how Sam Bankman-Fried really felt about regulators. The author of the Vox.com article, Kelsey Piper, to his surprise, got to chatting with the former chief executive officer of cryptocurrency exchange FTX, who, though now under heavy scrutiny by many U.S. federal and local government agencies, answered her questions directly. She posted screenshots of her and Bankman-Fried's Twitter conversation in her article, revealing that how the former crypto billionaire might truly feel about the regulators and regulations he once said were good for the industry and good for his company. He said, quote, the article said, quote, before his empire collapsed, Bankman-Fried was active in work for cryptocurrency, while many crypto CEOs like Bankman-Fried's nemesis, Binance Chief Executive Officer Changpeng CZ Zhao, are openly skeptical of government regulations. Bankman-Fried has largely avoided criticizing regulators. In our conversation, he dismissed their role. He characterized his past conciliatory statements, like when he said just last month that some amount of crypto regulation would be definitively good, as little more than PR. And Rothschild lauds the government foreign bonds improvement, says Financial Secretary. The government has been congratulated by the country's sovereign debt consultant Rothschild & Co. Global Sovereign Advisory for improvements in the country's foreign bonds. The Financial Secretary Simon Wilson told the media yesterday, explaining that the once inverted yield curve has flattened out. Wilson, who spoke to the media during the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing, said Rothschild explained that the Bahamas' bonds are performing better than the market. He said, quote, I just got a note this morning from Rothschild, a congratulatory note that our bonds have improved tremendously. Wilson restated the country's first quarter fiscal results for the 2022-2023 budget year, which were outlined by Prime Minister Davis in the House of Assembly. And the chief counselor touts the benefits of Calypso Cove for Long Island. Long Island Chief Counselor Ian Knowles yesterday said the announcement of the $250 million Calypso Cove development in South Long Island is welcome for that part of the island, which has laid dormant for decades. Last month, the government signed heads of agreement with Azul Destinations and Calypso Cove Destinations Limited for the development of a cruise port terminal, marina, and luxury residential resort in South Long Island, inclusive of a 200-room hotel mega yacht marina facilities, interior pools and lagoons to support water park activities, a recreational lighthouse, and a Junkanoo art plaza. And President of the Bahamas Association of Air Transport Operators, Dr. Anthony Hamilton, said his organization will lobby for lower airfare taxes, particularly for domestic airline operators that service the Family Islands. Hamilton, who was addressing the Long Island Business Outlook, said there remain huge obstacles in regard to airfare and air accessibility for Family Island travel that requires a partnership between the sector and government to address. He says, quote, "We are speaking specifically to the lobbying of the Bahamas government to at least explore the possibility of reducing airfare taxes. This will require serious inclusion and consultation with stakeholder engagement. Another desire would be the creation of an airport development and maintenance assistance fund. It's a very critical component with regard to sustainability. Again, it is critical for stakeholder inclusion and consult." Overseas, more Twitter workers flee after Musk's hardcore ultimatum. Twitter continued to bleed engineers and other workers after new owner Elon Musk gave them a choice to pledge to hardcore work or resign with severance pay. Hundreds of employees signaled they were leaving ahead of a Thursday deadline set by Musk, posting a salute emoji or other symbols familiar to Twitter workers on the company's internal Slack messaging board. However, it was not always possible to tell if they were doing so because they were leaving or out of solidarity with departing colleagues, according to a current employee who also spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of retaliation, and also a former employee who spoke on condition of anonymity because of the confidentiality required to get severance pay. Some took to Twitter to announce they were signing off after the deadline. A number of employees took to a private forum outside the company's messaging board to discuss their planned departure, asking questions about how it might jeopardize their U.S. visas or if they would get the promised severance pay, according to an employee fired earlier this week. And that's your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And welcome back to Morning Blend Business. I'm Chester Robarge, along with T. Grant. We had lost you there at the end of before the business report.
I had to do what they do at the card machines. I had to take out the Wi-Fi and blow on the cord and plug it back in. I had to do something like that.
Listen,
you know what? And this teaches me something. Always go to the office for this. Always go to the office. Never do it at home.
You mean the home internet, little janky?
Hey, listen, it's Comcast, you know? It's Comcast. So, yeah, little janky. I could call their name, Comcast.
Oh, man. These people, this person must be a Twitter user. This texter. This says, great show as usual. If the robber come, you can't pay him with Sun Cash. You better have at least 100. Okay. And then they say, great show as usual. Cash is a good thing, I think. But when I around mango skin gals, I rather have physical cash. Okay.
Okay.
No, the mango skin gals want the digital wallet users too.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I ain't too sure about that. I would think that all women right now, they ain't really watching with the cash. They want the card. They want the plastic.
Yeah, and so again, I think that's something that is being offered by digital wallet companies too, like
Yes, like
cards, physical cards.
Yeah, those are in the works, especially for Suncash. That's in the works. We are also developing new merchant gift cards for this Christmas season. So all of our merchants out there, if you're listening, you know that we'll be in touch with you real soon for this rollout, and so that you can be able to offer gift cards like any other business around the world. We're trying to elevate it, Chester. We're trying to make that. Let's say, for example, let me use the Chick-Chani Challenge, for example.
Okay.
The Chick-Chani Challenge can now offer a gift card and say, hey guys, here's a gift. So it helps you to redevelop your marketing campaigns and strategies, and to be able to, think so that everyone can know that the Chick-Chani Challenge is on this type of level.
Right.
And that's powered by Suncash.
Yeah.
And so that we could offer that to you, especially going into the new year.
Right.
Offer you some new exciting products to help take you to the next level.
Got you.
We ain't playing down there, we got this thing.
But that's what it's all about, right? It's all about the next level.
Yeah.
It's all about the look.
The feel, the technology, bro.
Right.
I got to give a shout out to my Suncash team. I have to give a shout out to the Suncash team. I know you all down there listening. Good morning. Morning, everybody down there, man. We are one family down there. I got to say, we're one family, just like the Junkanoo Group. But, that's a whole other
shameless
story.
plugs over here.
That's a whole other story. But I shout out to the family down there at Suncash, especially the general manager and there, Miss Darvel, Miss Turnquest. How you doing? Everybody out there, man. And I got to give a shout out to our chief, the chief development man down there, Mr. Desmond Bay from brilliant Bahamian, bro. When you talk about the genius,
You
the
come
tech
from
genius.
a good family.
Yeah, man. I mean, Mr. Bay from he is the man, bro. I gotta give him his props. I say give him roses while you're alive. And it ain't just because I work there, but that's just how it is, bro. A Bahamian who's developing this type of technology that's going to revolutionize the way we do business in the Bahamas, and is revolutionizing. And the way how things are now shaping up, and soon we'll be making moves to go into the region. You're going to hear about this real soon. Shout outs, man. Big ups. That's what we're doing, man.
Yeah.
Regional moves.
Big power move.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that sounds good. So tell us more about, can you give us some statistics, this type of wallet, what kind of transactions are going on?
Right now, we got about 55,000 users.
That's huge.
Yeah, and that makes up a lot of our we have so many SMEs on board.
Yeah,
and so we use that as our base, and we test the technology to make sure it works. And so right now we can flex off a bit.
Yeah,
and say, hey, this works, and we can handle the load.
Right.
We can handle the load.
Did you see after the Wine and Food Festival, and I guess Wine and Art, did you see a big increase in people using the wallet, adopting the wallet, downloading the wallet?
Yes, we did, and we also noticed that there was a lot of people saying that the experience was different. It was a lot more seamless. It was a lot more efficient.
Okay.
And that was music to our ears.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
great.
that people can expect more of the same this weekend with Jollification.
Right.
Like we mentioned, we are the official provider.
Right.
And so we take that serious.
Yeah.
And our teams are already on the ground, making sure that all our tech is in place. We already have everything from the marketing side and our relationships with the different vendors and merchants, and
Right.
especially with Sand Dollar.
Right.
Shout out to Sand Dollar. And everything is in place.
Yeah.
So everyone coming out to Jollification can expect to have a great experience this lot.
Right.
I have a quick question, Stephen. In the year 2000, I went to university, and at the university I went to, they were already cashless.
Yeah.
And so what you had to do is put your money in a machine. It gives you a card, and that's the card that you used on campus. Any plans to take over UB or enter the high schools, to take away the cash out of high schools? I remember being freed up in high school when I was younger. Any chances of relieving those people who were being bullied, or any chance of going into the universities to make the universities cashless in the Bahamas?
Oh, yes. In fact, like I mentioned earlier, that we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make sure that our system works. That's in play. We are in talk with UB to do just that. We have some levels of things. Some I can't speak about them yet fully, but we are in talk with UB with some things like that. We already have some private institutions, like private primary schools, daycares, and the model is set for us to be able to go into schools to not only receive tuitions, but to be able to help them with their day-to-day on-campus transactions, tuck shops, or what have you like that. Because we realize that there is a need for us to be a corporate citizen too as well, And so if we can help in any way to try to help to reduce the cash exposure, that could help is all about.
Right.
And not saying that's what high schoolers do, but I do know that a lot of high schoolers don't like to carry cash. They don't want to flash cash. People beg, all the time in high school, so they don't want to be bothered with it. And so it'll be good to see that kind of presence in high school. Yes.
Yeah, because our ultimate goal, and I hope my bosses don't slap me too much for this, but
come on, go ahead.
Our ultimate goal is to be that cash app of the Bahamas. We want people to be like, son, cash me. That kind of way. So so we're working toward that. And so our focus is to just make everything digital, make it safe and reliable for all.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, absolutely. And when you talk about safety, when we talk about the move away from cash, we're talking about a more safe environment. And things are changing. We see the central bank getting rid of checks, which I think is a great thing. I don't know the last. I've not written a check since I left the United States.
Really?
No.
I'm trying to remember the last time I wrote a check.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to remember, but I can't think of it right now.
And now we see we got sand dollar, so we're gonna slowly. Of course, cash is not gonna go anywhere, but we're kind of phasing it out. Yeah. We saw when statistics came out, huge jumps in card transactions since 2020, since the start of the pandemic. The banks have seen more people using debit and credit cards to make payments, and that momentum is probably not going to stop.
No, and interestingly, we're noticing that here in the Bahamas, and so we know that we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah,
and so we believe that we're on the right path, so we just can keep it going.
Yeah,
I mean,
Stephen.
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that, Steve. Chester. Quick question. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I do real estate here. If I download the app here, can I transfer funds, or can somebody transfer funds from the Bahamas to me here and I transfer funds back? I'm getting a question like that right now.
Technically, yes. Technically. There are some central bank rules. I'd like to speak with you with those off air. And because I don't want to muddy the water and stuff like that, But
I'm just asking for those Bahamians who are abroad, who have families back home.
Yeah, it can happen. You could ask. I'll tell you what. Ask those callers, texters, to hit us up on social media. Go find us on Facebook, Suncash Bahamas, or Instagram, Suncash, and just hit us up in the DMs. I'll respond, and we can take it from there to make sure that they are fully enabled to do what they need to do.
I just wanted to say about cash use versus any digital type of payment, what have you, whether it's credit card or using a debit card, that I have lost so much money getting change. I cannot count. I got a piggy bank full of change, right? That I don't know when I gotta roll them up and send them to the bank. I then lost the opportunity to cash in the pennies. So that's gone. I only could decorate with them now.
Use that for something.
Okay. So, but my thing is, people still like cash. I don't like it. I don't want to dig in my car seat or my couch anymore to find the money I've lost in change. Even the central bank talked about how much money's worth of pennies that's been lost over the years, like a significant amount. In storm drains and couches and God knows where, So when this person talks about revelations, I think it's just it's human. The God the brain that God gave human beings to make their lives a little easier, making the wheel, making fire, making
another
digital
step-
payments.
Another step in the
Right.
evolution. It's another step in the evolution.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to something that Tej was talking about like back in the day. He said you would buy, like you go to an event and you put your money on a card or what have you, right? You know, one of the benefits of using this digital wallet technology is that your money is still your money at the end of the day. So, for example, jollification's coming up, and you load up $100 in your wallet to use at the event. At the end of the event, that currency is still there and it's still currency. You can still use that. You could go into food and grapes. You could go buy a cold drink outside of the event. So gone are the days when your money dies along with the event.
Right.
You know, that kind of way.
Right.
And I think that's important for us to get out there, because that there can
True.
lend into the whole culture of us understanding how important it is to do digital wallets and how efficient a digital wallet can be for everyday use.
Yeah.
I think we got to
True.
get that out there.
Oh yeah, no,
True.
absolutely.
That is big, Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah, some people like me. I thought, okay, I'm not sure what the digital wallet's for. Now I know, Sand Dollar is the only way you can interact with is to use the digital wallet, right? But in terms of like bill paying, something like, I do that through my bank.
Yeah, but you
like,
can do it through SunCash
online.
Wallet too as well.
But right, yeah. So I didn't-
One-stop shop.
So I didn't feel the need for it at first, but then as you look at some of the features that are being added into these digital wallets, you're like, all right, okay, I get it now. Now, and now I can hold my money there.
Yeah.
And it's safe. And then I could move it around where I need to from this one spot.
Exactly, and you could also withdraw it. It's
Right.
like for example, should I say this? Let's say, for example, you have some people out there who they spin.
Right.
You can through our app, you can connect those two apps together. Take your winnings, put them in your key, house it in your wallet. You could use it there if you want to, or you could send it to your bank if you're connected.
Right.
If you have connected your debit card to your SunCash wallet, you're able to transact, to move your money from wallet to the bank.
Right.
And that's a feature that we found being very popular.
Yeah.
And
yeah, absolutely.
And that way people can load their wallets directly from their bank account without even having to have their cards present or be exposed in that way. So that it reduces that type of exposure again.
Right.
So we're finding that almost every way we have a solution for it. And in the event where people want to, let's say you want cash, you could go to one of our kiosks.
Yeah.
And you could you could scan the QR code, or you put in your account number and go to our kiosk, and you can withdraw your funds.
Right.
I know you've seen around town the quick pay kiosk. As I say,
Right.
you could come through there and you could load up through there. We also have other kiosks that will be coming on stream real soon.
Yeah.
And be able to offer that type of a service.
The other thing about the wallets is the settlements are instantaneous.
Instant.
Right? One huge problem I have with bank accounts is, especially my bank. You go into your account and you look at the balance at first, and the balance ain't true. Then you go into the actual thing, then it shows you that you broke, but then it's still got these holes that take forever to come off. And it's like, why is this? Anyway, we got Darcy Ramming Jr. joining us from Arawak X, just to, I guess, close out the show and have a quick conversation about what's going on. I invited you on because a lot's going on with people in your age bracket.
Yes, yes.
And of course, all of this digital technology, SunCash and other digital wallets.
Morning, how are you doing?
And those kinds of things. But, in your perspective, just kind of give us a breakdown of what you've been seeing happening in the world of digital technology.
Yeah, well, finance and fintech is kind of the SunCash is a type of fintech in the payment space. Arawak X is a fintech in the crowdfunding, capital market space.
Right.
And then, of course, you have FTX doing stuff in the digital asset space.
Right.
So we're obviously a lot of people are talking to us about this because we're kind of the experts
Right.
in this space, and they're I've read the news this morning.
Yeah.
There's crazy stuff going on. Crazy.
And so say you say that you run a firm that's regulated by the Securities Commission
Yes,
of the
we do.
Bahamas, and the things that we've seen come out of the FTX story in terms of how the business was run, and by a young man like yourself.
Well, I'm not just so the millennials run the technology,
Right.
But the older finance salts make sure that these kind of controls are in place.
So
it's a blend.
There's something
you need
to
a blend
think about.
of the generations when you run fintechs.
Well, there's something to think about, right? Because apparently there were no old heads in the cabal of Sam Bankman-Fried. They were just young people running a business. And they were criticized for it, and I guess now we know rightly so, right? Because of what it turned out to be. But RWACX is a different kind of company.
Yes, we're in the capital markets, financing of companies.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I do commend the SCB for being so innovative, because the digital asset space is like looking at finance from a technology point of view,
Right.
Not from like a regulatory legal point of view.
Right.
So it's very brave. It was very brave of them to step out there and say this regulation to the madness. And I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
People are unfamiliar with what liquidation is.
Mhm.
The first step is the courts get involved and they
Right.
stop everything,
Right.
and then they sort through the mess, and then people and investors, once they find what's left, will get their money back. So people, if you're unfamiliar with that process, could see some of their moves as being, untoward. No, that's the typical process. It's just like when it's like a probate. Somebody dies, an event happens, and then the courts step in, and then before the assets get divvied out amongst the family members, according to the will,
Right.
or if there is no will, equally.
Right.
But that takes time.
Right.
So you got to let them do their jobs.
Yeah. Now, when this whole thing happened, you had to explain what our WACX was again.
Yes.
And calm some nerves.
Yes.
Tell us
Well,
about
I mean,
that.
it's because we're part of this movement of ownership and entering into new financial assets. So there's a lot of financial education that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so people are viewing the similarities.
Yeah.
We're internet based. That's a similarity.
Yeah.
You do it on your phone. That's a similarity. It's a similarity with you guys as well. And they're not quite understanding that the difference is you're buying shares in a company.
Right.
And so that education is ongoing, and it's good that people are asking these questions. I think this is a financial education for the entire nation right now.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen so many people talking about finance in the Bahamas. I mean, it's amazing to see just everybody has an opinion. It's wonderful,
Yeah.
and from that perspective.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they're still finding the facts.
Yeah.
We're getting new revelations, like the front page stuff every day. So this is an ongoing story. So I won't comment on what's going on. But I think the positives that are going to come out of this is people are going to be more financially astute.
Yeah.
Know the difference between these different asset classes,
Yeah.
and as well as understand that people definitely understand that there are risks when it comes to certain kinds of investing.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a worry that now when people look at young people in the space, they're gonna, how people go, they're gonna, these young people.
Well, and that's a good thing. I'm 32 years old.
Yeah.
You have to look at the team, the overall team that's running this.
Right.
We like to say when you're vetting a company, team that delivers magic, right?
Right.
So the team is the executives, advisors, and management.
Right.
So I'm the young engineer lawyer on the team, but I'm surrounded by older gentlemen that have been in finance, have been in business, understand these kinds of controls, understand this kind of thing, and then they help guide the direction of the company.
Right.
So it really is about, especially in this space, it's a mixture between technologists who want to move fast and break everything,
Right.
and the regulators and the old traditional finance people that say, no, wait, you can move fast in this direction, but not in that direction. People, you'll all of a sudden you'll wake up, and I couldn't imagine waking up one day and somebody gambled away $10 billion. I mean, that's insane.
I think that one thing that we have to realize is it's all about education. I think that once we educate ourselves on the framework in which we got to operate, I think that would change the game a lot. I think that a lot of people don't give millennials credit for being able to understand and work within the framework.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think a lot of it is. That's why you get the criticisms of like, okay, well, you need to have heavy guidance. I mean, you need guidance. I mean, I'm not going to run from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you need it. But those folks had to have guidance at some point as well, eh?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the real problems are emerging. They're emerging day by day.
Yeah.
But I will comment that you got to remember, millennials are now 30 to 40 years old.
I know, right?
Yeah. So we're not. Yeah. We're not children. But
Right.
but we have a lot of, we were sent off to good universities to learn these skills to bring that back. So
This text just said 32 is not young. Finland ran a country at 28. What kind of hater rate is that? We still young. What happened to you? Well, I'm 32, but
Right.
30 something. Yeah. But but the other thing is the kinds of technology that are that's being invented and brought out and used by younger people. Again, it's happening quickly, and there's a learning curve for a lot of people, and these kinds of things will happen, right?
Well, I mean, I think this is not a failure of the technology. This is a failure of controls.
Yeah.
From what I can see, so this is, they really should have had some more old school finance people around them, because they would have said, don't run into that direction. You are going to step on a landmine in 4 iterations. So I think that's the issue, what really happened here, when you peel it back. But, to your point of technology, we can't be afraid of this space. We have a wonderful opportunity as a country to become an innovative jurisdiction to test new ideas.
Right.
And we shouldn't run away from that because, we've run into one bad actor.
Yeah.
Or, so we have to embrace we have to find our space in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really excellent place. This is an amazingly difficult place to do a fintech, but once you figure it out here, it's almost like the perfect environment for running multi-jurisdictional types of financial technology. So there's a lot of really cool nuances about this place that make it, when you can make your business work here, you can export it anywhere.
That's an interesting.
So just think about it in terms of like all the family islands, right?
Right.
In most places, you can just drive to do business.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how to do business in a bunch of different islands.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, since you could do it in a bunch of different islands, why not a bunch of different countries? It's
Right.
the same system, same
Right.
thing. So that kind of mindset is easily translatable. Whereas if you're used to doing things only where you can go in and see, well, then you're stuck where you are.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah.
Wow. A valuable contribution from you at this. You came in a bit late, but
your other co-hosts had me talking in the lobby for 20 minutes.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Man, they lock you out. But we'll have you back on to talk more about this kinds of stuff because your wealth of knowledge, we appreciate it.
And the story seems like next week it's going to be even. This is like a page turner.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Darcy Ramming Jr., Stephen Gay from Suncast, thanks for bringing us some more information on digital wallets.
Yes.
Tej Grant, you'll be with me next week.
Yeah, Wednesday I'll be at a different place. I'll be in Dallas on Wednesday, but I will be joining you. Yes, and men, you are special. You are important. Tell all your brothers that today, since we missed out on International Men's Day.
The
Since we missed that today.
Appreciate you, gentlemen. That's our show, Morning Blend Business. On the Clock with Aaron Green is up next. You guys be good to each other today. God bless. Have a great day, and I'll be with you on Monday.
Thank you.
It's a new day. Wake up.